Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of rotating as if on an axis. The rotation of the dancer kept time with the music. A single complete turn, axial or orbital. The plane made 3 rotations before it crashed. A planned recurrent sequence, of crops or personnel, etc. Crop rotation makes a balanced demand on the fertility of the soil. Mathematics. A transformation in which the coordinate axes are rotated by a fixed angle about the origin. The act of rotating as if on an axis. The act of rotating in a circle or spiral. A single complete turn, axial or orbital. A single complete turn, axial or orbital. The revolution of the Earth about the Sun takes 1 year. A drastic and far-reaching change in ways of thinking and behaving. The Industrial Revolution was also a cultural revolution. The overthrow of a government by those who are governed. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Gastrointestinal motility. Ability to move spontaneously and independently. The act of changing location from one place to another. Police controlled the motion of the crowd. Show, express or direct through movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The cinema relies on apparent motion. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A formal proposal for action made to a deliberative assembly for discussion and vote. He made a motion to adjourn. The use of movements, especially of the hands, to communicate familiar or prearranged signals. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. The reflex motion of his eyebrows revealed his surprise. A state of change. They were in a state of steady motion. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. Act of changing in practice or custom. The law took many turnings over the years. A shaving created when something is produced by turning it on a lathe. The activity of shaping something on a lathe. The end product created by shaping something on a lathe. To break and turn over earth, especially with a plow. Turn the earth in the spring. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. I turned my ankle and couldn't walk for several days. Pass into a condition gradually, take on a specific property or attribute, become. The weather turned nasty. Cause to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn a page of a book. Undergo a change or development. The water turned into ice. Let something fall or spill from a container. Turn the flour onto a plate. Cause a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. The strong man could turn an iron bar. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. We turned from socialism to capitalism. Pass to the other side of. Turn the corner. Have recourse to or make an appeal or request for help or information to. She turned to her relatives for help. Turning or twisting around, in place. A favor for someone. He did me a good turn. Change to the contrary. The tides turned against him. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is my turn. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A circular segment of a curve. Sports. a division during which one team is on the offensive. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. An unforeseen development. Events suddenly took an awkward turn. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. He took a turn to the right. Go sour or spoil. The cream has turned, we have to throw it out. Accomplish by rotating. Turn a somersault. Alter the functioning or setting of. Turn the dial to 10. Become officially 1 year older. She is turning 50 this year. Cause to change or turn into something different. Assume new characteristics. The princess turned the frog into a prince by kissing him. Cause to move along an axis or into a new direction. Turn your face to the wall. Cause to move around or rotate. Turn a key. Change color. In Vermont, the leaves turn early. Change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense. The mugger turned and fled before I could see his face. Channel one's attention, interest, thought, or attention toward or away from something. The pedophile turned to boys for satisfaction. Direct at someone. She turned a smile on me. Get by buying and selling. The company turned a good profit after a year. Move around an axis or a center. The wheels are turning. Shape by rotating on a lathe or cutting device or a wheel. Turn the legs of the table. Taking a short walk out and back. We took a turn in the park. The act of turning away or in the opposite direction. He made an abrupt turn away from her. To send or let go. They turned away the crowd at the gate of the governor's mansion. A following of one thing after another in time. Acquisition of property by descent or by will. The action of following in order. Ecology. The gradual and orderly process of change in an ecosystem brought about by the progressive replacement of one community by another until a stable climax is established. A group of people or things arranged or following in order. A succession of stalls offering soft drinks. A following of one thing after another in time. A following of one thing after another in time. Film consisting of a succession of related shots that develop a given subject in a movie. A following of one thing after another in time. The doctor saw a sequence of patients. The action of following in order. He played the trumps in sequence. Arrange in a sequence. Determine the order of constituents in. They sequenced the human genome. Serial arrangement in which things follow in logical order or a recurrent pattern. The sequence of names was alphabetical. Several repetitions of a melodic phrase in different keys. A following of one thing after another in time. The act of changing in form or shape or appearance. A qualitative change. A rule describing the conversion of one syntactic structure into another related syntactic structure. Genetics. modification of a cell or bacterium by the uptake and incorporation of exogenous DNA. Mathematics. A function that changes the position or direction of the axes of a coordinate system. Of a path, e.g., a winding country road. Marked by repeated turns and bends. Winding roads are full of surprises. The act of winding or twisting. The act of turning or winding or folding around a central axis. Turning an oar parallel to the water between pulls. Grow feathers. Turn the paddle, in canoeing. Turn the oar, while rowing. The light horny waterproof structure forming the external covering of birds. Cover or fit with feathers. Join tongue and groove, in carpentry. Turning an oar parallel to the water between pulls. Turn on a pivot. Axis consisting of a short shaft that supports something that turns. The person in a rank around whom the others wheel and maneuver. The act of turning on, or as if on, a pivot. The golfer went to the driving range to practice his pivot. Rotation of the hands and forearms so that the palms face downward. Cause to spin. Spin a coin. Prolong or extend. Spin out a visit. Rapid descent of an aircraft in a steep spiral. Revolve quickly and repeatedly around one's own axis. The act of rotating rapidly. He gave the crank a spin. A distinctive interpretation, especially as used by politicians to sway public opinion. The campaign put a favorable spin on the story. A short drive in a car. He took the new car for a spin. A swift whirling motion, usually of a missile. Form a web by making a thread. Spiders spin a fine web. Make up a story. Spin a yarn. Stream in jets, of liquids. Twist and turn so as to give an intended interpretation. The president's spokesman had to spin the story to make it less embarrassing. Work natural fibers into a thread. Spin silk. A structure consisting of something wound in a continuous series of loops. A curve that lies on the surface of a cylinder or cone and cuts the element at a constant angle. Ornament consisting of a curve on a plane that winds around a center with an increasing distance from the center. Move in a spiral or zigzag course. To wind or move in a spiral course. In the shape of a coil. A continuously accelerating change in the economy. A plane curve traced by a point circling about the center but at increasing distances from the center. Flying downward in a helical path with a large radius. Form a spiral. The path spirals up the mountain. Rotation of the hands and forearms so that the palms face upward. A set of clothing, with accessories. What is produced in a given time period? A part of a road that has been widened to allow cars to pass or park. A short stretch of railroad track used to store rolling stock or enable trains on the same line to pass. Attendance for a particular event or purpose, as to vote in an election. The turnout for the rally. Ballet, the outward rotation of a dancer's leg from the hip. The group that gathers together for a particular occasion. A large turnout for the meeting. Cause to spin. Turn in a twisting or spinning motion. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. The act of rotating rapidly. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. The wrestler twisted his shoulder. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Twist the dough into a braid. Twist or pull violently or suddenly, especially so as to remove something from that to which it is attached or from where it originates. Form into a spiral shape. The cord is all twisted. Turning or twisting around, in place. With a quick twist of his head he surveyed the room. A miniature whirlpool or whirlwind resulting when the current of a fluid doubles back on itself. A circular segment of a curve. An interpretation of a text or action. To move in a twisting or contorted motion, especially when struggling. Extend in curves and turns. The path twisted through the forest. A hairdo formed by braiding or twisting the hair. The act of winding or twisting. A jerky pulling movement. Any clever maneuver. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. An unforeseen development. Practice sophistry. Change the meaning of or be vague about in order to mislead or deceive. Don't twist my words. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Do the twist. Form into twists. Social dancing in which couples vigorously twist their hips and arms in time to the music was popular in the 1960s. They liked to dance the twist. Turn in the opposite direction. Twist one's head. The act of distorting something so it seems to mean something it was not intended to mean. Marked by repeated turns and bends. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Cause to spin. Flow in a circular current of liquids. Turn in a twisting or spinning motion. The shape of something rotating rapidly. A usually brief attempt. I gave it a whirl. Revolve quickly and repeatedly around one's own axis. The dervishes whirl around and around without getting dizzy. Fly around. Rising smoke whirled in the air. Confused movement. He was caught up in a whirl of work. The act of rotating rapidly. The act of rotating in a circle or spiral.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.